folks, welcome to Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. I'm your host, Mark Riccadonna, and with me, as always,
Richie Byrne. How have you been, Mark?
Good.
We didn't do a show last week.
I know. You were...
If a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it.
Was there a show? Did the podcast happen? That's for everyone. That's to find out if we did a show that didn't air. But I haven't seen you in about a half hour.
I know. It's been a long time.
We had a very cool dress rehearsal that was...
we're doing a great...
It's a really cool... Tell them what it is.
It's
then tell them who's on it. It's crazy.
Well, there's a school in Manhattan called the Stevenson School, and a friend of mine from the Dr. Oz show called me and said, hey, we're having a show. We're going to do a benefit and for the school, and we're doing it in Zoom fashion, and I want you to host it. And I said, well, I got a better idea. We got this little thing called Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling, and we've hosted up. We did the LSU show, and we've done the all kinds of different shows. I said, why don't you let us host it? We'll host it.
Yeah.
Me, Mark, and Tom. And we sent them a little video. They loved the video, and they hired us. And they really worked hard on it. And tomorrow night is the show. And
you can really tell how hard they worked on it. I mean, there was like a kid. He's a junior, or is he a junior or sophomore?
Junior.
Magician. And we've had Eric Jones on, Denny Corby on. This kid was great.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's going to do some tricks tomorrow live. But then we have a bunch of guest people coming in who are going to
may have heard of.
They're gonna talk about the school. Some guy named Montel.
That was Montel Williams. There's your boy
from Good Day New York, who I love.
Yeah, she made me. She was the moment I missed New York today when they showed her. I was like, I'm so used to her being on the news.
Yeah, she's so great. Dr. Drew Pinsky.
Yeah.
And I think Bill Irwin. Is gonna, and some other guy no one cares about.
Some dude with a real thick hairline.
Yeah, some dude. He's 60 now. Dr. Oz, we're talking about Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz is 60?
Dr. Oz is going to be 61 in June.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
And his hairline is going down. Most people's go up. His is going down. He got like Eddie Munster now. He's that's going to be a lot of fun, and that's tomorrow night.
We're really looking forward to that.
Are people able to buy tickets?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know where to go to get tickets. It's just,
if you really want to come,
good luck.
Start getting on Google, or maybe hit up Richie. He'll get back to you. Richie knows.
I was pretty impressed at what I just said. I know what I'm saying? Like you were like, tell them about it, Richie. And I'm like, me.
I was trying to look for my notes on it. So in case you didn't have what to say, I was going to try to jump in like,
I think I did pretty good.
Nailed it, baby. So it's been a rough week for comedy. It's been a
rough year and a half for comedy, man.
Yeah. This week, actually, it started. Who was the first one? It was Carl LeBove, passed away just recently. And then last night, we got word that Charles Grodin passed away.
Yeah.
And then today, we just found out Paul Mooney passed away.
Yeah. Grodin was, I think, 86.
Yeah.
And
Mooney wasn't too far behind him, I don't think.
No, that's what I'm looking up right now.
But just a staple, especially Caroline's. Well, Caroline's late show was always Paul Mooney yelling at white people. That was I think they could have named it that. That could have been the name of his show. Paul Mooney yells at white people.
79.
He was 79? Wow. Yeah, and he worked. I mean, he worked closely with like Richard Pryor, and
He was. I mean, oh, interesting. He played Sam Cooke in the Buddy Holly story. I never realized
really,
that was Paul Mooney. Wow.
I didn't know.
Never realized that. And he worked on Chappelle's show, and I mean, he was huge for Richard Pryor. Just incredible. I mean, there's a great documentary, I think on Showtime, about Pryor, and they talk about when he was making a comeback, and he got on stage. He did it in L.A. and I think at the arena, and everybody was there, and Pryor froze. He just froze.
Really?
And they have the video of it, and you see at one point Mooney comes up on the stage and like starts giving him jokes into his ear, and then Pryor, and I mean, again, it's so Richard Pryor, right? Who else would have a documentary, even in death, and show you when they fail? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean, dude? I mean, Stevie Wonder was in the audience, and everybody, I mean, big names were in the audience. And he literally turned and said, I'm going to come back tomorrow night. We're going to try this again. And everybody came back the next night. I mean, people, they talk, and Pryor got up and blew the room away. He literally froze and couldn't do it. And yeah, it was really amazing to watch.
People forget that these guys are human, like the legends. You know, you look at those big legends.
It's funny, Mark, because when I saw that, it made me go, wow, you know, yeah, as an entertainer, anybody can fail at any time.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you and I do it weekly on this show. So
get it out of the way. Get it out of the way. We'll fail here, and then we'll move on.
Paul Mooney was a great writer, tremendous writer, and all-around happy guy.
I've never not been allowed in the green room except for when Paul Mooney is on a show later.
Oh, really?
I was on the 6 o'clock show. He was on the midnight show. They're like, you can't come in the green room.
What thing was just talking about him Friday on the round table?
Yeah, Christy Miller is his opening act. I feel really bad. I want to call her today, but
he died, do you know? Because it must have been sudden because she was joking about him, and
yeah,
you know, I mean, hold on, death. Oh, a heart attack.
Oh man.
So she must be devastated, Christy. You're working with her this weekend, right?
Yeah, we were Friday. We're in Phoenixville at the Great American Pub. You were just there.
Pub, baby.
I'm going to be there with Christy and Jake Matera. It's like, I can't wait. I'm pumped. And it's funny. I just worked with Kate Wolf, who was also on Friday. Right. I worked with her, and I laughed so hard. And I'm not speaking out of. If she was here, she'd tell you the same story. It was a daytime show at a country club.
Birthday, right?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
We walk in. We're both pumped up because we only had to do 15 minutes apiece. And it's like, you can bomb for 15 minutes. Who cares? You know? So we're thinking, like, who cares if we bomb? As soon as I open the door to let Kate in, I like open the door and she goes to walk by. I open the door and there's like 15 little kids dancing, just sitting there dancing, having a good old time. And we're dying laughing because we're like,
right?
Yeah. Kate was, and we're in the car riding over, and she was going over if the bits were too edgy for daytime. And then we open the door, and it's a bunch of like 6-year-olds.
What happened?
So we go in. It's a beautiful country club, really beautiful. We walk in, we set up, and we go over to the DJ. We're talking to him. We're like, look, those kids probably need to like not be here during the show. I mean, and he goes, I know their parents. They'll be fine. And we're like, no, they need to go. And I was like, look, I'll be the buffer. I'm going to go up first. I'll tell them a couple times, but maybe you could prep them, like take the kids for a walk for about a half hour. So I go up and I'm, keeping it as clean as possible. And the kids start going out. I bring up Kate, and that crowd was so excited because they knew when the kids walked out, she was coming out of the cage. She crushed. She did great for a day show,
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we had a good time. We got tipped.
Nice.
There's nothing better than getting your pay and then they go, oh, and here's a little extra because we enjoyed you.
Hi, Kate.
Kaden.
Are we supposed to switch over?
Oh, well, let's
Tom?
do the Tom. Why don't you pop on?
We didn't talk about
We didn't play the Mooney clip or the Grodin.
the Mooney clip.
we run a real professional.
Then it was
There we go.
a slum. Since then, it's become a ghetto. I'm saying that because I didn't know what it was till I heard Elvis Presley do it. In the ghetto, you know, so I mean, I've been trying to get into it now that I know what it is. Anyway, I went to school there. And a lot of my friends, I'm looking around to see if I see any of my old friends. I see one. We're or two, maybe three, white people. And no, that's nothing wrong with saying that. No, I mean, I want to realize it because I know the audience is predominantly black. There's nothing wrong with saying white people.
Wait, is that Joey Cola on the front row?
He's going to say the same thing.
Some of my best friends were white.
Tom, you got to go back.
And I had white friends for days. I mean, for real. Oh, I was white.
Joey Cola.
No, I mean,
Wait, freeze it.
The audience.
Look at that. Can we zoom in? We can't. That looks just like Joey Cola.
I'm going to take a picture of this and send it to him.
We got it.
White people. It sounds old-fashioned, but some of my best friends were white. No, they were. And I mean, I had white friends for days. I mean, for real. Oh, I was white back. And you get that affected speech into, you know, you heard it, really. And I was as white as they got. The white socks, the tennis, I had my little Levi's kind of washed out.
I think that's what's in it from Good Time.
Crazy. They here come the national education, right? And is dinner, you know, because black people don't do that. You know, they don't do that. White people do. My white friends, they had me trained. I'd say, pass the salt, pass the pepper. You know, they look at me so crazy because, you know, when black folks sit down, it's none of that kind of stuff. Because, you know, black folks, it's like beautiful, it's rhythm. It's just, you know, they sit there. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They just be eating greens, there's that hot water cornbread. They be, Ooh, this is so good. This will make you slap your mama. You know? So you've heard that. Ooh, I mean, this is when we do the real stuff. Let's tell it like it is. You know, and be showing out greeting. I was into my white bag, so I was just blowing everybody's mind. And so,
it's like Joey.
When the white friends came to my grandmother's house, and she, you know, it ain't nothing like grandma, and you know it, especially black folks. You know, the grandma's hand, that's an understatement. Because, you know, grandma's there, and grandma will kick plenty behind, too. We know that. But my grandmother, you know, it's an art. It's coming back to pressing hair. Those of you who are educated realize what I'm talking about. Hot combs, you know. There's an art to it because you can burn a person's head off. And she had, I mean, it was art. I used to enjoy watching it. You know, and they'd come in there, I mean, with hair, I mean, at Tight by Kinkadora. And when they leave my grandma's house, she's the bootleg. When they leave grandmama's house, long, wavy, pretty. I mean, they come in there, their hair be so pretty when they leave, right? So one of my white friends, he came over and he got excited because he'd never seen that before. And the first thing he said, this is, you know, he said, please, are you punishing her? Don't punish her. So he saw that fire, that iron, you know. Please don't punish. I said, no, she's doing her hair because they think everybody's hair is straight. You know, but most everybody's hair is straight. Anyway, I used to go to movie theaters and it was called a Peralta, things like that. That's when they were showing movies like, you have to remember how I'm relating now. I'm in the ghetto and I'm black and beautiful. You know. But I didn't know that then. No, I didn't. I was colored and tired.
Man, that guy, legend.
You know, I forgot how, like, he was a really handsome man, too. He was a good-looking dude. He's probably like 21 years old in that, 22.
Wow.
He was born in 41. I think that was from 73. And I think it's interesting, too, like, how hard it would be. You know this. Like, first of all, you don't have a microphone. He's not holding the mic.
Yeah.
And it's such a small little crowd. It's obviously a set-up TV crowd, and he just played off of it. He talked to them. I say that a lot to comics is no matter how big the crowd, always talk to them. Don't talk over them.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do. It's a real, and he really was doing that there. Especially a smaller crowd, it's really easy to go right over them,
Yeah, and pretend you're too big for the group.
I can't believe how long Joey Cola kept his mouth shut.
He probably did the warm up for it. I'm going to warm it up for you, all right, Joey? I'll bring you up, Paul.
I can't believe that's what
I just texted him.
When we come back, I gotta say that guy looked like Joey Cola. And before I could get that thought out of my head, you went Joey Cola. It's Joey Cola.
I didn't know the mics were on. I started laughing. Well, Paul Mooney really loved to make fun of whiteness and how white people were.
Yes.
So I think we should talk about the whitest person in the world who recently passed away.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because I don't think you guys are friends, right? But Marion.
Yeah, I wasn't close like you were, but I know her.
Yeah, Marion and I are pretty close. I actually got to give her a call. But Marion Grodin is Charles Grodin's daughter, and she's a great, great comedian. One of the best crowd people I've ever worked with, dude.
Her hosting is the greatest.
Holy shit. And you know why? She's his daughter. She's smarter than everybody else in the room, just like he was.
Yeah.
And she has a way, she would hate me for saying this. She has a way of, I'm always intimidated around Marion because I never know what's going to come out,
Yeah.
And even just hanging out, like I never know what's going to come out. And I am always killing her. Like I always hit her hard. I'll make fun of her a lot. And she doesn't realize that's my defense mechanism because I know she's way smarter than me. And he had that same way. If you ever watched him on Letterman, or Letterman would literally sit back because he was like,
get out of his way.
Yeah. It was like, I don't want to get in his way. And B, he'll kill me if I get in his way. He will trash me, and
I got a perfect example of a clip. This was Scott Curtis and I talked about this clip. This is one of my favorite. This is Charles Grodin doing Kevin Brennan before Kevin Brennan.
Okay. All right, that's a great way to put it.
My first guest tonight, who's currently starring, would it be starring or co-starring? I guess he's starring in a picture called Taking Care of Business with Jim Belushi.
Then he's co-starring.
What?
Then he's co-starring.
It says here he's currently starring and taking. Well, we'll find
You mean
out.
our staff made a mistake?
Well, we'll find out when he comes out. He's out here filming Clifford, which says with Martin Short, and he wrote a very entertaining memoir titled "It Would Be Nice. It Would Be So Nice If You Weren't Here." That's the way his mind goes. Yeah. Would you welcome Mr. Charles Grodin? That is the most self-effacing, humble entrance I've ever seen.
Not even paying attention.
Humble. I mean, just kind of self-effacing entrance I've seen.
Excuse me. Do you feel my pants? The lady, Amy Yazbek, who's coming on later, felt my pants were disrespectful.
I don't know. I think they're fine if you're a log roller.
Were you offended by my pants?
Not a bit. Jeans are comfortable. I think jeans are
good. And
great.
you?
Just
You wear pants?
yes, I have pants on. It's really not necessary. Most of the time I'm back there.
Yes,
I could
that's
probably
why
save a
asked.
lot if
I
I didn't
haven't
wear
seen
them.
your
Let's work this out here. This is my first guest who's currently starring and taking care of business. Then in parentheses it says with Jim Belushi. So is the correct billing co-starring or starring?
Taking Care of Business is probably the most entertaining picture I've done since Heaven Can Wait.
Did I miss a question somewhere in between? Did you answer something else before this? You're jumping ahead to the next question. You see, they have to come in order. I ask the questions, then you answer the
I
current
have
question.
certain things to say, and you have certain things
Of
to
course
say.
we
I'm
do.
interested in
You're both starring.
both starring, and I think it's the most entertaining picture I've done since Heaven Can Wait. I said that, right?
I hope so.
You have to say things twice.
We got to clear something up. You see, and you're starting again tonight. Every time you're on the show, we get mail. I don't say tons of
You
mail.
use eyeliner and all?
What? Only when I tried to get out of the service, but that. A lot of people, when you're on the show, they write me and they call and they say, why does Charles Grodin treat you so shabbily? Doesn't he like you? What is it? I mean, you want to address that or speak to that question?
I don't know what to do when I'm out here, because most of the reasons people come on a talk show, I can't really do that. I can't come out and why do people come on a talk show, in your opinion? You're Mr. Talk Show.
To plug this book, to plug this movie.
Okay, and if I would do that,
what else are you here for?
That's what I'm asking. If I would do that, your attitude would be disdain. When I tried to talk about my book in the hardcover, you said $18.95. That's a lot of money for a book. And I said it's my whole life.
I thought it was.
And you said, maybe if it's Mother Teresa's life.
You remember those things, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I didn't know you were that sensitive. You actually remember that.
I'm so sensitive. I really can't answer a question from someone who's not interested in the question.
I'm very interested in the question. Now, what? It's all right. It's okay. I'm used to it. Here's the paperback.
This is $9.95.
Well, now we're talking.
How great was Carson? Yeah.
Dude, he just does not give a fuck at all.
Yeah. How well did Carson handle that?
Wow. They were so perfect together.
Oh my God. Yeah. Now let me tell you my Charles Grodin story.
All right.
Marion had a radio show on Gov's radio, Governors, and I was her sidekick, and we had so much fun doing it. We really did. But every week he would call in at near the end of the show. It became a thing. Every week Charles Grodin would call in, and let's just say he was about 2 martinis deep every week when he called in. He wasn't. Let's just say he wasn't getting paid and he didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? So he would call in and he'd be like, how you guys doing? How's everybody? He'd be a little bit, and then Mary would go, yeah, we're doing the show. And he goes, all right, how are you, Jimmy? How you doing, Jimmy? And I would go, I'm good, Mr. Grodin. Every week he had a new name for me. He never knew my name, but he knew it ended with an E. So one week I was Jimmy, Billy, Tommy. He never called me Richie, not once in all the and it was so funny because Marion would go, he's not kidding. He really doesn't know or could care less what your name is. He's not. It's so funny to have the two of them coming at me like that with that dry word. You're right. I never realized that. It's kind of like Kevin Brennan.
He has the I don't care.
Yeah.
He can give a shit less. And I absolutely, I love it. I think it's, I don't remember who told me the story, but you know how he would always talk about Miss Piggy in the Muppet Show and how he was in love with her? Yeah. He did that all the time. Not even when he was plugging.
Right.
Oh, well, we should get our guest down here. Let's get going. We have so much stuff happening in the world, and but we want to bring him out. So I knew this guy back in acting school. We went to acting school together, and I just saw online he's released a new album. It's Mike Hilliard and the Working Class, and the album's called Nothing Changes. And let's bring him out. Mike Hilliard, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, hey, guys, how's it going? How's everything?
I wanted to tell you to make sure you don't call Richie by his real name.
Yeah, I was this close.
So how the hell are you, man?
Yeah, things are pretty well, I've just finished up a shift at work, actually, and
nice.
I got my guy right here in the elevator. Oh, there's a couple of guys now.
We can see the.
Sorry, guys.
Don't apologize. I love it.
Yeah.
Mike, I just love the look of. We just heard about how Charles Grodin looked like he didn't give a fuck. This really is guys, I don't give a fuck.
Great clip too. Great clips, by the way. Oh man, hysterical stuff.
Two great guys, man. But so the way we usually start off every show is we start off with a drink. And since we wanted to wait till we had you out here,
All right.
let's start with you, Mike. What are you drinking? You just got off the job, so I can't imagine you're.
I just got off the job, and sometimes we'll have a 6-pack in the fridge if something's going on, but we don't. I just asked one of the guys while you guys were chatting it up in the opening, so I'm just drinking water.
Just going for a while. Oh, that's good. How about you, Richie? What do you got?
It's so warm in here. The ice is already melted. It's Johnny Walker Black on the rocks.
Now
The ice is
scotch and water.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm doing a vodka soda. Beautiful.
Can't go wrong.
I can't believe
So the second thing we do is we go with a joke. So we always ask our guests if they would like to give us a joke. You can give us anything. You can do a street joke, one of your favorite jokes you've heard from a comedian.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. I'm going to go with one from a comedian, and it's one of my favorites, Mr. Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, let's hope and it has something to do with drinking, which
Perfect.
a couple of tracks on my album have to do with too. So so here goes. I drink too much. I went to the doctor. He wanted a urine sample. There was an olive in it.
I love it. Thank you. Oh, man. So we went to acting school together. You were out 2001?
No, we were 2000 actually.
2000. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you guys got out, and now you got into music. I follow you online, and I was wondering, what was your journey? Have you always been in the music, or was this?
Well, you know what, Mark? Oddly enough, the music is what got me into acting way back when.
Yeah.
And I was in a little band with some guys I grew up with, and we were looking for a singer. And I was writing a lot of lyrics at the time. I was playing rhythm guitar, and then my friend who was a lead guitar, he jumped on the drums, and we had our bass player. And so we're trying to find a singer, and because I was doing a lot of writing at the time, my buddy Harold, who was on the drums, was like, "Mike, why don't you sing?" And I was like, "No, I can't." But I slept on it, and I said, "You know what? Let me give it a shot." So I gave it a shot, and then I said, "Well, let me do it right." I pursued some vocal lessons, and at the time, I was working like 55 hours a week at this Italian American deli. It was like all imported meats and cheeses and such. So I was working a lot, and the only day off I had was Wednesdays. And so there was a woman who was actually an old comedian, and she did the vocal lessons on the side. Her name was Betty Glenn. I don't know if that rings a bell. It goes way back when. So she lived, a few towns over in the county I grew up in. So I would see her every Wednesday. And over time, I said, "I don't know what this is. I don't know what's going on." I said, "But I like this. It feels good," or whatever. She's like, she goes, "I'll give you some names and numbers of some local theaters, community theaters.
Yeah.
And you see what happens, And I said, "Okay, cool." I'm the type, I'll throw it in my top drawer and forget about it. But that Friday I was at work at the deli, and I got a call at the deli. I'm like, "What the heck?" And it was this woman that was directing a play in a community theater called the Suffern. It was the Antrim Players, the Antrim Playhouse in Suffern, New York. And she said, "I got this play cast. I need 2 parts. One's minor, one's major. I want you to come read." I was like, "All right, what the heck,
You're the only person that got asked to get in show business.
I know. And now I'm in New York City doorman. But anyway, long story short, I don't want to chew up too much time. But I went down and read. I read horribly. And then she was like, "I don't know. I see something. Come back and read again." I read again. And I had a great time, And then next thing I know, they invited me back one more time. We read the whole play and I ended up getting the leading role.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was a comedy. It was a musical comedy, Murders of 1940, like, slapstick farce. Well, it was a farce, not necessarily slapstick. But, and I had the leading role. And it was the final week of the performance. And the director looked at me. She goes, "What do you want to do?" I was 25, 26 at the time. And I was slaving at a deli. I could have took over. But I don't want to do that. Be on my feet, deal with people. Who wants to deal with people in that capacity? You know?
And now you're a doorman.
And now I'm a doorman. I got to yeah. They're like, okay, what do we need? What do you need? You want a taxi? So yeah, she's like, what do you want to do? And I said this. I said, it's like a natural high because I love being on stage and being live through the music and now with the theater.
Yeah.
And so she was like, American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I'll help you prepare. And I was like, all right, let's go for it.
Nice.
Yeah. And so I kind of stumbled into that. And then I got accepted in. And then once I got into acting, I stopped playing music. I just stopped because I always had a kind of with guitar, it was like a push-pull with me, like a love-hate kind of, you know. And then for years I didn't play. And then 4 years ago, 2016, I had major surgery on my ankle, and I was going to be kind of laid up for a while. So I went home with my folks. I was single at the time. Went home with my folks and to their house, and they took care of me. And I said, what the hell am I going to do all this time, you know? And my father's old acoustic guitar, which I kind of picked up, you know, 11, 12 years old. I said, well, I'll start playing that, you know?
Yeah. Who are some of your influences, though, back then? 11, 12-year-old Mike is wondering about the house.
Well, yeah.
What's he listening to?
It's a good question. Well, at 11, at that point, I was listening to a lot of things. I mean, I grew up on top 40. You know, I remember, you know, my mom cleaning the house on Saturdays. My dad be working, and she'd always have Casey Kasem, the American Top 40 on. So that was cool, you know, because he would do throwbacks too, so you get to hear, you know, a lot of the oldies too during that. And my parents had a vast record collection, so I grew up with a lot of, you know, 60s and 70s stuff. But at 11 years old, I first started to get, you know, people started giving you like, you know, Black Sabbath cassettes and what else, you know, Twisted Sister, which was awesome, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was in 6th grade. That was when I went to middle school out of, you know, it was sixth grade, so 12 years old or something like that. 6th or 7th grade, this girl I knew, Danielle, she's like, here, check this out. And it was Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy on cassette. And I'm, you know, dating myself. I'm like, okay, I took it home, put it in, and that was it. That changed my world, man. Once I heard Zeppelin, that was it. That's my all-time favorite, you know.
Nice.
So yeah, and then this is like classic rock, all stuff like that is really, you know.
This album has a lot of like it's like a rocky bluesy type vibe to it. What do you think your album's? Who's influencing the album?
That's a good question. I haven't really thought of it. I always say it's like it was classic rock and 90s rock, possibly influenced. Yeah, because I was the type where I didn't really sit down and learn other people's music. I would learn some riffs here and there, but I didn't go through the whole song. I would just always do my own thing. So I would pull certain things, I guess, but I'd say probably like a 70s rock kind of sound to it. And then there's some like 90s, like some of the more funky, groovier stuff would be maybe some like Chili Peppers and yeah, some funkier roots like that, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so Richie's a singer as well. Richie has some music ability. But now, do you guys? Richie, do you play?
I play some piano. I've never had the balls to bring it onto the stage, which is funny. And it's weird you're asking this, Mark, because I was trying to start a band recently with a couple of comics.
Yeah.
And I mean, starting a band is the most biggest pain in the ass. I mean, yeah. Everybody's got a problem.
Everybody's got a problem, man.
It's unbelievable. Like, oh my God. And so a friend of mine who actually saw me sing on a thing I did on Facebook had come to me and said, hey, man, I play guitar. We should start a band. And I'm like, oh. And I mean, totally covers, dude. I'm not looking to do anything original.
Yeah.
We had a band, and who had a problem this day? So my friend, who's a really good guitarist, his name's Danny Price, he's like, listen, man, just meet me. He owns a bar here in town. He goes, meet me at my bar, and we'll do a duet. And I'm like, I don't really. Well, he shows up. He's an amazing guitarist, but he's got gadgets, and he's got and all of a sudden there's drums behind me, and there's this, and I'm oh my God, what do we need a band for? This is amazing.
You just outsourced.
That's it. Yeah.
So
AI and shit.
Now I'm like, yeah, we're doing this, man. So I'm kind of excited about it. We're right in the middle of it, and hopefully we'll be playing soon.
That is excellent. Wow.
But this still
I'll check
not
you out.
having a real band behind you. And it's funny because I'm a huge fan of a lot of music that I want to do. It has keyboards that are important to the music. And it's so funny how so many musicians are like, fuck keyboards. But I love Styx.
Cool.
You know, I love Floyd. I love Floyd.
Oh, me too. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm always like, I got to find a keyboard player, and they're not easy to come by, bro.
Yeah, they're not too easy. Yeah, right.
No, you're
You
trying
like
to
the
get
album. You like the album because we hired this
Yeah.
guy. His name is Rob Flores. He's played with the Black Crowes. He's played with John
Oh,
Popper,
really?
a Blues Traveler. Yeah, some other noteworty folks. And I only met him because through the studio and where I recorded through the producer John Aniello. Him and his engineer, they were like, nah, because I wanted maybe some horns for some of the funkier stuff, and
You didn't need it.
we couldn't really pull that together.
Yeah, that's tough.
And then
Thanks.
for one song, John kept saying, I don't know, man, Hammond B3 organ, Hammond B3 organ. I'm like, yeah, you think so? And he's like, yeah. And then the engineer, Jeremy, he's like, call Rob Flores. And this guy came in, and at that point, I was all finished. I was there for a week. The band were done in like a day and a half, laying down all their rhythm tracks. And then I'm doing all the vocals and guitar back and forth. Final day, he comes in. At this point, we got champagne, we got booze. This guy sits down, I don't know what he's going to do. And he sits down, and man, I'm like, tears in my eyes, man. I'm like, this is unbelievable. I'm like, this album is going to be sick.
That's great.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. But yeah, so you'll love it, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story. A friend of ours, Mike Keegan, he's a comic.
Yeah.
He heard me sing one night at a karaoke.
Awesome.
And we were at another bar one night. He's drunk off his ass, and there's a girl there that we know, and they have karaoke at the bar. And he goes, "Are you gonna sing?" And the girl turns to me and goes, "Oh, do you sing?" And he goes, "Like an angel."
And Mike Keegan looks just like John Panette, so to hear him do that is hysterical. Like an angel.
Oh, that's hysterical, right?
But I watch guys like you're saying, playing and singing, and Richie's talking about playing the piano. Like seeing somebody doing something so complicated, but then singing and on key, to me is just like that's fucking impossible. That's not real. That's not a real thing.
Yeah, it's true. My brother's a drummer, and he used to be a drummer in my band.
Cool.
And he sings amazing. He would just nail harmonies, like just nail them.
Oh, I love that. I love harmony.
And I would go, Ken, why don't you sing lead? He's like, I'm not, I can't sing lead. Man, play drums. I can't do it.
The dude from Night Ranger does that shit.
Yeah, Night Ranger, huh?
He'll be playing, and then he's just like singing. They have a guy with a microphone, and it drops down, and he sings, and then they pull it back up.
That's right. I remember the clip like that video. Don Henley too. There's some Eagles, right? Yeah, there's some drummers that sing.
My brother's like, I'm not singing lead and playing drums.
He's all about the harmony. That's great.
Yeah, but he can throw in a harmony here and there.
I think it's Pete Corielli had the bit about you watch somebody play guitar and you're like, look, I can do that. And you pick up a guitar and you go, this is fucking impossible. Oh, man. Now when you, so Mike, you do a lot of you're doing originals, and you guys are going to be going out. We'll scroll your website across the bottom, but you guys are going to be going back out during the pandemic. Is that when you decided to jump back in and start writing for your album?
No, actually, I wrote in 2016. I wrote these songs, recovering. Yeah, and then I came. Once I was 5 months out of work. I got back to Jersey City, and over time, I started recording on my own. With the computer, the software and such, and that was all new to me. So that took a little time. So I recorded a bunch of songs, and then over time, I met the producer outside of a bar, and his buddy's like, "Yeah, this guy's a well-known producer." I'm like, "Oh yeah, check this out." And it was the songs that I did on my own. He goes, "Oh, I like it," and at that point, though, we weren't ready to ready to record. I said, you know what, I don't want to do this alone. I want a band, you know, because that's how I did it. I had the drum track, and I wrote the bass lines. And
did you go back to your old guys?
well, no, not those guys. Yeah, they're all separate areas. One's in Australia, but yeah. So I had to put the typical musician thing, like an ad on Craigslist, and then I had a fellow, Bob Pays, my bassist, who's like my right hand guy. He answered the call, and another fellow, Louis Acabelli from Staten Island, and yeah, then we just started rehearsing, and we didn't start playing out after about a year in rehearsal, and we did about 5 shows, you know, a few open mics, and then we did like 2 shows, and then the pandemic hit, and we were done, and I'm like, man, we just got started, you know. It's like, what the hell now?
You were in sprinter stance, and they called it.
It was terrible, man.
That's awful.
Yeah, like all these years I didn't play. Now I finally have a band, and then I couldn't do it, and I was like, yeah, boy. But then over time, again during the pandemic, then I said, you know what? I liquidated a savings account, and I said, I got to do this for me. You know, I'm 45 years old. I don't care what happens. If nothing happens, it's for me. If people like it, great.
Yeah.
And so I called that producer I met, and then we made the album, and then here I am, and now I'm trying to form a band again. It's just me and my bassist. So get back to what you said.
Yeah. We should get together.
Someone's got this, someone's got that.
I know a drummer, but he won't sing lead.
Oh, shucks.
Now, we're talking music and everything. Richie also was in a band that was they did a lot of parodies with the Pandemics.
Yeah, that's where my friends saw me. We did it during the same thing during the pandemic. I had this idea to do Beatles songs and change the words, you know, do parodies of. And I called another buddy of mine who plays, and he has a bluegrass group. And I'm like, dude, you and I should do some stuff, put it online. He goes, well, I have a band. So we did it's like bluegrass Beatles doing it. Instead of we sang, why won't you wear a mask? You know what I mean? Like shit like that. We took the song Yesterday, and we rewrote it to Election Day, and we put it out the week before Election Day. And that was like, that kind of took off for us. That was like kind of a big people.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing about that song though is as soon as Election Day hit, it was over. That song's not.
It's done.
Yeah,
it hasn't gotten one hit since. But
yeah, it was like we can't do it again. It's stupid now. But
although in America every 2 years is an election, right?
Yeah, that's true. We can bring it back. We can bring it back. But this other guy saw that on Facebook and called me and said, "Hey man, let's start a band. You can sing." So that's and I haven't even done anything with the Pandemics in a while. And we have a Facebook page, the Pandemics. And by the way, it's Pandemics with an X because we think we're Jimi Hendrix. And people are still like coming on and liking it and asking when we're going to put out more videos. And I'm like, I don't know. We need a new issue to sing about.
Oh man, I'm sure you can find one.
Yeah,
man.
So everything's it's slowly opening up. Things are starting to happen. And Richie, are you getting up?
Yeah, I mean,
some gigs.
Last weekend, I actually worked both Friday and Saturday night for the first time in forever. And I was in New York, New Jersey border on Friday night with Gary Delina.
Actually. I love Gary.
Yeah.
Another music guy.
Great music.
I guess we got a theme today. We're all
music and comedy, you know?
Yeah.
Gary, all music except Mark.
Gary was a big time musician in New Jersey back in the 70s and 80s, and then he got into comedy that way. He's a really, really great singer, musician. Anyway, and then on Saturday night, I'm from Staten Island. I played in Staten Island. Beautiful. And it was kind of cool to have 2 nights in a row of work. It was strange.
Yeah, you guys must be excited too. I mean, it's the same, you know, you guys are getting back out there. So
I don't know how to say this, but I got in my car and went, I don't want to do this. Like,
Every show.
I needed that 14 months to kind of realize that.
Yeah, I don't mind the shows. It's just if somebody could blink and I was there, it would really help because
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't miss this sitting in traffic and all that crap.
Oh, forget it.
But dude, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I had 2 shows. I did afternoon shows and night shows the whole weekend.
Wow.
And I was like, and before every single show, I went, do I really want to do this? I started panicking. Like, I don't think I remember any of my jokes. And actually, I was in the Poconos Saturday night, and there was this band there, and they were like a 10 a band of 10. Like, they were huge band. They had a horn section. They had backup singers.
Nice.
God.
And they're playing, and I have to go.
Prince and the Revolution.
This guy, if Prince was Prince, this guy was a king, a great king, because he was 1,000 years old. And I'm looking, and there were more people in the band than there was in the audience, and I'm going,
Oh boy, yeah.
I gotta go up and do comedy after this. And the sound guy goes, "Don't worry, people show up during the comedy part." Like,
See, Richard, we were ragging on Mark because he didn't do music out of the 3 of us. He's on to something.
You know, it's funny. Yesterday, I found a video of Prince doing a whole lot of love. That was really cool.
Really? I never seen that.
Look it up on YouTube. Yeah, Prince, whole lot of love. It's very,
that is
very different.
excellent.
So then, I told you the Saturday or Sunday show with Kate. That was another one. But then I had another show that was in Wilkes-Barre at a country club, and there was only like 20 people, and there was no microphone there, and I was opening for a magician, and they said just go in the middle and get them wound up and get them having fun, and then bring out the magician. And they were actually the best audience of all. I thought it was going to be like, here's my last gig. This is the one before I retired. And then they were the best one out of the whole group.
Hey, you never know with audiences, right? You never know what you're going to get, you know?
Well, you know what happened to me on Friday, too, after sitting in traffic, trying to get to this place and all. And then you're like, are you here now? But they handed out cake when I went up. There was cake time.
And I've seen your act. I'd take cake over it.
These 2 women who aren't really waitresses, who had masks on, were going around the tables going, "You want cake? You want cake?" And people were literally going, "What? What?" And I can hear this, and they're going, "Cake!" I'm doing my whole act. And then at one point I turn and I go, "Listen, the women with the trays with the sugary stuff on it, that's cake. Either you want it or you don't. Stop asking them what they just said. Stop asking them what they just said."
What?
I was like, yeah.
Oh.
Like, I feel like it's God's way of telling me you don't want to go back to this.
They'll go back. Stay in the couch.
But I really get anxiety before shows now, where I really go like, I could just leave right now. I could just walk out. No, there's nobody forcing me to go on. I could go home, go to bed, watch a couple episodes of Law and Order.
I'll tell you, that's the other thing, Mike, that happened for me was, and I meant to tell you this, Mark. You became such a buffer to me, Mark. Like, as a comic, you're all alone on that stage. You are alone. And so for the past year or so, we've just been doing this. So there have been times where I go, "Well, Mark's got it." Mark. And now I'm on stage and they're going, "You want cake?" And I'm going, "Where's Mark?"
Mark would shut this person up for me. Oh, crap, man, time flew. We did those videos. That's what it is. It's almost 4. We got a show that comes on right after us.
We got a show at 4. We have another show.
Mike, it was so awesome having you on. I would love to figure out if there's a way we could somehow play some of your music, play it on the podcast, maybe opening.
That would be cool.
Just give you a little plug. Anybody who's out there watching, please check out his website. He got tour dates that will be coming up. And then also, where can people find your music? Where can they buy the music? Forget about getting it free. Where can they buy it? We support artists.
I appreciate that, Mark. Yeah, so basically all the major music streaming sites, all you have to do is type in the full name of the band, which is my name, Michael Hilliard, spelled like billiards, and the Working Class. And the name of the album is Nothing Changes. And you could also visit the website, which is mhnthewc.com. And you could access the music or links from there. And eventually, in the coming weeks, find out what we'll be playing live and any other events.
Yeah, Mark, we got to go see him.
Yeah, dude, I would absolutely love to.
That would be so fun, man. I had such a fun time. And I want to come see you guys because this was just terrible.
We'll open for you. We'll open for the band.
Oh, dude, that would be sweet. We could definitely hook that up.
Hopefully they have cake.
Yes.
Richie, you got any dates you want to plug?
Do I?
That's the other thing the pandemic did. We don't know our schedules anymore.
No, we're doing this thing tomorrow night for my first Stevenson school, you and I, and every Wednesday we're here. Every Friday's the round table.
We're going to be switching the Monday next month. Yeah.
For anybody who's listening, we're going to start doing Drink Show Storytelling on Mondays at 2 and the round table on Tuesdays at 2. So
yeah, round table Tuesdays. That'll be a lot of fun.
Tuesdays. So make sure you're paying attention and keep watching. We need you. We need your support.
So stick around. Anybody who's on the channel, please hit refresh when we go off because Frank Vignola is coming on with a new show that he's testing. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's called Whose Punchline Is It? And it should be a lot of fun. They're going to be messing around with telling some jokes. So, guys, stick around, hit the refresh. But that was Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling.
Thanks, guys.